Hi again, it's Amy, and I told you on Monday that we were going to share something exciting with you on Thursday. And we're still going to do that, but then this whole other exciting thing happened. We found out yesterday that Season 3 of Threshold, The Refuge, has been nominated for a Peabody Award. Being nominated means basically that we're a finalist. Out of 1,200 submissions, we're one of just 60 to receive this honor. So whether or not we're eventually named a winner, I feel like we've already kind of won. Especially because past nominees have been outfits like the BBC, HBO, Amazon Studios, Netflix, operations that have slightly larger budgets than ours. So, yay! Our small, passionate, hard-working team has produced something that the Peabody jurors believe is on par with some of the best stories released on electronic media. And this is not just a victory for us. You had a huge hand in this. You have listened and subscribed, you've shared Threshold with your network, which is truly the number one way that our show finds new listeners, and you have donated some of your hard-earned money to help us make this show, including this very week. We're trying to raise $3,000 this week in our Giving Tuesday Now campaign, and we're almost halfway there at $1,300. Go to thresholdpodcast.org to make your contribution, and thank you so much for your support. I also want to acknowledge the Pulitzer Center, the Park Foundation, Montana Public Radio, the High Stakes Foundation, and all of our other funders. I started Threshold because I believe that we can and we must figure out how to have more honest, inclusive, meaningful conversations about the many pressing environmental issues we're living with today. And when you listen or donate or share our show with your friends, it feels like you're saying, yes, we need to be thinking about these things together more deeply. And that gives me hope, not just for this show, but for our future. So thank you. So back to our regularly scheduled programming here. It's time for another prompt in the Alone Together project. Just a reminder that this is our community audio documentary project. We're asking you to send us 1-minute audio postcards from your pandemic experience. And this week, the prompt is Pandemic Playlist. Tell us about a song or a piece of music that's especially meaningful to you right now, or sing it to us if you want. Maybe you've written your own song, or maybe you can capture a moment this week in your household when music is helping everyone to get through. Sing it, strum it, whistle it, document it in action. However you do it, we want to hear a little bit about the musical soundtrack of your lockdown experience. Last week, we asked you to share your grief with us, and I'm so grateful that some of you responded. I'm going to share 3 voices here, Stephanie, Dara, and Krista. Thanks to them, and thanks to everyone who's participating in this project. You can join at any time. All the details are at thresholdpodcast.org.
This week I experienced unexpected grief, not like the feeling of grief that I've expected during this time, like loneliness or maybe depression or fear, but instead a friend and community member died, but it wasn't from COVID. Dan died in an avalanche on a really sunny spring day last week, and there's been so much talk about people not going outside and doing dangerous things during this time, which is totally understandable. But I'll tell you that the thing I was thinking about when I heard Dan died was not that he shouldn't have been out there or that he was putting, rescue teams at risk. I was thinking about how sad I felt and how so many people in this community are going to be sad, and his friends and family, everyone. I don't judge Dan for being out skiing on a spring day during a pandemic. I'm grieving the fact that we won't get to have, kind of a normal celebration of life right now because of this pandemic. Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting how things surprise us and just never really know.
It's May 4th, and I've been thinking about Amy's prompt, Down in a Hole, from Gillian Welch's Miner's Refrain. And I really appreciate the space for grief that Amy mentions. My husband and I were planning to go to a wedding for our family in Colorado, and that's not happening. We had planned for 20 years to go to Switzerland. We bought our tickets last November, and we're planning to go this April, and that didn't happen. It's really hard to not be with the people that you love, But even though we are surrounded with illness and grief and uncertainty during these times, there's something good in knowing you're not alone, and I appreciate that. There is a thought I'd like to leave you with, which is what defines us is how well we are rising after we fall. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to climb out of this hole and spread it good news to everyone around me.
My greatest source of sorrow has also been my greatest source of joy this past month and a half. On March 19th, our son Douglas Oliver was born, and we had so many plans to have family and friends come and stay with us and share in his joy and learning and growth that is happening daily. And it's been really, really hard to have such a momentous occasion happen in my partner and I's life, in my family's life, and to feel so isolated within that experience.